Welcome.
Welcome to your...
Delighted to have you here again.
The pleasure is ours as usual. I'm glad you are seeing the mist in swirls.
Yeah, so they were quite visible this evening.
Our objective is to manifest one of ourselves in front of you.
Wow. Now that would be wonderful. Do you feel that is possible?
Yes.
Wow.
It is down to the instrument, of course, to allow
Yes.
to get his mind out of the way.
Yes. He's doing very well, isn't he?
Yes. Each of your weeks we will attempt more extraction from him of the energies.
We were less in number this evening.
Yes. It will be Herbert that appears in front of you eventually.
Oh wow. Oh, Herbert's delightful.
Yes, so he has the trust relationship, you see.
Yes.
You will show parts of him to start with
Yes.
until he is able to appear in solid form.
Well, that would be something
You
to
will
see.
be able to talk directly with him, not through the instrument's voice box.
With Herbert, he explained last week that he was the gatekeeper.
Yes.
Could I ask you to explain what the gatekeeper means? What does it mean?
He is the nominated protector. Each and every one of you is given a gatekeeper on entry into the physical dimension. They are with you for the entire duration. They are your sixth sense, if you like. They are the one that screams in your ear when impending danger is coming.
Yes.
Do they make themselves known to us?
Many do.
Okay.
Each of you wish to know your guides, of course.
Yes.
Some of you will never see them. Some of you will only sense them. Others will see and converse with them. Some will hear them audibly as well. It is each a level of development within each of you, and it is achievable.
Is there a topic that you would like to discuss this evening?
There are many questions you have for us, I do believe.
That's quite right.
One topic will lead on to another. But as you quite rightly said earlier, we do like to bounce it back to you.
Yes, you heard me.
We are always listening, you know, not in the sense that you have audibly through your ears.
Yes.
But that is an interesting topic that we should maybe start with your senses.
Yes.
For you only have 5. We have many more senses than you. So when we interact with each other, we engage on multiple levels. And as we do not have the physical organs that you have, we do not sense in the same way. So for example, we will feel and taste music rather than hear, for it is all the vibrational energy, like a carrier wave of your radio stations that emulates itself and ripples through us, so that we may fully engage and sense from the inside. For we do not have a physical body as you do, but we have an etheric body that has multiple layers. Just as your auric field, it is the same energy for ourselves. Just as your senses work for you when you meet someone new, as we discussed last week, and you sense their energy and their vibrational energy may be different to yours. and you sense a great liking or a dislike sometimes for someone, even though you've never met them before, and you are sensing through your auric field. You are using some of your additional spiritual senses to do this.
So in the spirit world, you talked about being aware of music and understand and feeling it, as opposed to us hearing it with our physical ears.
Yeah.
So would there be such a thing as concerts?
Yes, indeed. For many of us still enjoy various different skills that we have learned in the physical dimension. They are just adapted and changed. There are still composers, but they will work with energetic vibration, which is really what music is, of course. Percussion of your sound waves. But we do not have the physical sound waves in the sense that you do. Although it is another interesting topic for you, that we may join with you and sense through you anytime we wish. So those close to you, you may suddenly feel a presence when you're in a moment of joy, such as a music concert. So we like to piggyback, if you like.
Yes.
So we can connect with your energy and enjoy through you as an interface many of the pleasures you enjoy.
Can I ask when deaf people enjoy music and dance to music through the vibration, is that similar?
Yes,
How you feel?
that is a good analogy in a similar way, except our spectrum is much greater for sensing. And no, we don't join you in the bedroom before you ask. Although we do join you when you feel great love for another.
Is it okay to ask the question?
Yes, I thought you'd never ask.
Okay, so when I do sittings for people, I often say, I often feel that the existence in the spiritual realm is more joyous than here. And I just wanted to ask, am I right in saying that it is a better place?
Yes, of course it is.
Thank goodness.
But if you don't have any of your woes, any of your physical ailments, any of your heartaches, any of your losses, any of your mental anguish, which is often caused through physical pain, or ill health, or sometimes being the victim of another's ill will.
Yes.
This does not exist in our world. It is a joyous place of peace and tranquility. But you do not have to go straight away, of course. When your physical body dies, you may remain for a while. In fact, you may remain as long as you wish in this physical dimension. There are many reasons for this also. For example, you may wish to remain around your loved ones for longer. You may be very angry at your departing at the hands of another, and you don't feel ready to move on yet. And you may also wish to go and travel the world and see all the sights that you didn't do. All of these things are possible.
So it's almost like between the two worlds, an existence between the two worlds, is that right?
You would call it earthbound.
Yes.
Earthbound spirits can remain in this vibrational energy. Of course, this is a much lower vibrational energy than the energy we vibrate at. Have you ever considered how your mediums connect with our world?
All the time.
And why cannot others do it?
Yes.
The medium has the ability to raise their vibrational energy through mental thought and connection.
Yes.
And the spirit will lower their vibrational energy to connect with you. Two tips of a pyramid, if you like.
Yes.
One upside down, touching the other. And the greater the bond and strength, the more the interaction, the more pyramid that blends together. That's a suitable analogy for you.
Yes, thank you. So on the earth we can experience so much emotion, joyous and positive, and very traumatic and dark sometimes. So when we go to the spiritual realm, are there levels of emotion that we feel, or is it all just a place of peace and love?
Oh, that is a very good question. We like that one. And the answer is yes, there are levels of emotion also, and there's a transition period from your departing, where you remain and retain a lot of your human characteristics. And as you evolve and progress in the spirit world, you leave those behind. We mentioned before a kind of decontamination zone where you will come and analyze your existence here.
Yes.
For when you first depart, you will remain exactly the same as you were here, in the physical appearance also, for you would not be comfortable otherwise.
Say if someone has taken the life of another while in this existence on the earth,
Yes.
and has done terrible things, what happens to them?
They have a lot longer in the decontamination tank,
I see.
but they have to work through each of their issues and problems.
And they do that by experiencing the emotion of those that they've affected?
Yes, they must relive their lives, but from the other perspective, the other point of view of those around them during their existence, those they've harmed. They will sit in their shoes and see the consequence of their actions and how they made that person feel.
Yeah, it's fascinating, thank you.
Which links in with your discussion on karma last week.
Yes.
Is that karma? We do not consider it so, but you may.
On the earth we have, structure in society, such as schools and education. What I'm trying to say is there still a structure in the spiritual world? Is there such a thing as schools?
Oh yes, there is progression through groups, for you reside in groups of people on the same level, like-minded souls, where you progress and learn, and you are taught by guides and elders who are on a higher evolutionary level, who will impart wisdom and knowledge with you. And then you may say, oh, okay, I've been learning how to swim in the classroom, now maybe I'll go and incarnate and try it out for real, and test myself if I've learned my lessons and I've understood correctly. So you may choose an incarnation where you come and put those skills to practice for your own soul development. And if you progress through the groups, you will move up into a higher group with more like-minded people. And there are many, many groups, and many, many levels, rather infinite, really.
When you pass over, there's often phraseologies, statements that you'll be met by loved ones. Is that the case?
Would you repeat that, please, for me?
So, when you pass from the earth plane over to the spirit world, there's often statements used that you'll go to join your loved ones.
Yes, your loved ones in spirit will be there to greet you.
Okay.
Not the ones you didn't like, of course. We might not ever go. Your loved ones that you love and respect will be there to greet you, to help you transition across, to stop you feeling scared and frightened. And you will be enveloped by an energy that gives you wonderful joy and peace.
I've done sittings before where a spirit person has come forward who's maybe done horrible things to the person I'm reading for, and the person that I'm reading for is almost uncomfortable in their even spiritual presence. And I feel sometimes, is it right that that's more of the need of the spiritual communicator to come forward to communicate some sort of regret?
Yes, for they have to work through their transgressions, shall we call them, and they must seek forgiveness. It is not obligatory, but it gains great peace for them if they know they have wronged another to be forgiven.
Yes.
In a similar way to yourselves, of course.
Yes.
For they do not know sometimes the harm and the pain and the anxiety they have inflicted on another. They may not have given it any thought, or it may be circumstantial and down to the way they were brought up. And when they have realized by living in the other one's shoes what they have done, they may seek forgiveness as part of their own development, you see.
Yes.
Whether they are forgiven or not is irrelevant at that point. But they will have chance again, of course, when you depart this dimension. But they may not be on the same evolutionary path as you. You will not reside with all your family on the other side. You will not have a nice spiritual house on a hill where all your family are waiting for you, for they're all in their own groups with their own friends. And believe it or not, you will not feel the need, for you will see all your old friends yourselves when you return. Ones you do not know or can think about right now, but maybe ones you see in your dreams or visions. But you will recognize them or your memory comes back, and you will not feel any great need to go and seek out family members, although you can, of course. You can visit anyone you wish to, if they wish to receive you. You have to consider in this, we do not have time like you do in a linear sense.
So in the spiritual realm, so of course in this earthly existence we fill our day with work and eating and time and things like that, and we have things to look forward to. In the spiritual realm, is the existence similar in that way?
What do we do all day?
Yes.
We float around on clouds with little white wings on our backs, playing harps all day. No, we don't. We do our groups and interaction. We have learning and counseling and lessons and development. And we have much time helping others too, for we all wish well of each other. We wish to help each other develop. And we also still, of course, come to help yourselves, like this group, for example, and in different dimensions and many different circles. And we form collective energies so that we may help others direct, not just on an individual basis, but sometimes on a global basis also.
Wow.
So there is much work to do, but also much pleasure to be had. For we like to converse, not as you do through a voice box, but telepathically with each other, for we can join with another and converse. We blend our energies, if you like. And we may blend into smaller groups, and groups may blend with other groups to share knowledge and information and experiences that they have had. But we do not get bored, you know. And we do not have any of your mundane tasks to do, such as emptying your bins or cutting your fingernails.
Hurrah!
I thought you'd be pleased to know that.
Oh yes, yes, I'm very pleased.
So do you see each other as how they were on like human form, or do you see each other as light?
No, we do not have any eyes.
Ah.
So we kind of sense each other as an awareness and in a knowing, if you like. And sometimes someone may present themselves how they used to appear, if there is a purpose to it. Kind of, hey, look at me, I used to look like this. Or you may recognize me in this form, for I lived in the same town as you, for example. So you may present yourself how you like, as you've had many lifetimes. You will be able to present yourself in many different ways. But it is not a seeing, it is a knowing. And of course, when you incarnate into a new existence, you may decide to be female if you were male, or vice versa. You may decide to be the parent of your parent. There are many different ways in which, and different reasons in which you can learn your development and lessons. And they will be discussed with you in great depth before you incarnate, as to what the purpose is and what the practice is and what will you gain from it. And you may not achieve it in your lifetime, and you may choose to come and restart that lifetime again. Such is with suicide, for example, as I believe we also touched on.
Yes.
Where you may come back and have another go.
So in the spiritual realm, we are androgynous when neither male or female, is that right?
Yes, we have no need to reproduce,
Yes.
but we are collectively part of the whole.
There's a lot in society now that's coming up with people wishing to be gender neutral.
Yes.
I just wondered if you could shed any light on whether that's possible.
It is people aware who've had many incarnations as your collective consciousness levels rise and you become more aware of yourselves.
Oh, wow.
People are starting to recall previous lives and sessions and then are unsure of whether they are male or female.
Wow. So that's fascinating, isn't it?
Huge, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, I wondered.
Which is distinctly different to your transsexuals,
Yes.
who are simply feel they are born into the wrong body.
Yes. Yes, I understand, yes. Wow, it's fascinating. So do you feel there will be more of this, of people feeling like they need to be androgynous on the earth plane?
It is coupled with a fashionable statement, of course, at the moment.
Yes.
For people are always the young wish to be different to the
Yes.
generation above them. And to be fair, many of your generations have pretty much done everything so far, so what's left?
That's true.
But they will always evolve. Each generation doesn't want to be told what to do. It wishes to find out for itself and cut its own path. For this is part of the bigger evolutionary plan.
Yes.
This is why many of your schools actually fail. Or each of your teachers are telling the child how it should think and what it should know. It is not allowed to figure stuff out for themselves. So is that really teaching? Or is that simply learning a script? And then your young generations will rebel and riot in the streets when they're fed up and it makes no sense to them to be shoehorned into a way of thinking, into a career where it's all mapped out ahead of them because that's what their father did or their mother did. Is that correct? Or should they be allowed to cut their own path and think for themselves?
Yes.
I think you call them radical free thinkers.
Yes. They're very needed, aren't they?
Yeah, for your planet needs to evolve and change. So there are many being born into this world to help with that. For your world would change with a collective consciousness change. There will be individuals, of course, pioneers, who will lead the way and make a lot of noise. We send them to.
When you talk about, we talk about a change in collective consciousness, there's a lot coming out in the media about this. Does that mean that we become more loving and gentle as human beings?
Yes, it does, because people start to become aware that they are no longer an individual. They are a part of the whole. So to harm another or steal is merely harming themselves. It's merely harming the collective consciousness, the whole thing. To damage another is to damage yourself.
The Dalai Lama talked recently. He feels that the new world leaders, and many of them will be women. Would you say that is going to be a possibility?
All things are possible, of course. Again, it is gender neutral from my perspective. If it happens to be more women who are more sensitive, then that would be a good thing.
Yes.
With less macho rules getting in the way.
Yes. I think our Prime Minister could do with your help, Bernard, with Brexit.
Yes, we believe it is a bit messy at the moment.
Yes.
But an insignificant blip in the whole picture, of course.
Yes.
Almost a childish squabble, you might say.
Yes.
But like all playground squabbles, it'll be over in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Can I ask about the collective that's coming together with regards to climate change? Is that part of the collective that you're talking about, people getting together?
We do not address specific subjects. It is a collective consciousness to raise awareness and well-being of your planetary change. For there are those within your planet who plunder for profit and gain, and that is what we seek to change.
So the world leaders, are they, their guides, very heavily trying to influence them and communicate with them, and they're not aware of it?
Yes, we try to influence your world leaders in many different ways, but sometimes individuals are very motivated by greed and they do not listen, which is why collective consciousness, your manifestation laws we discussed, on a global scale will change your world. If enough individuals are thinking the same thing, then your planet will change, for that is the laws of your physical universe.
So there's hope for our planet, very much it feels to be hopeful, because it's such a worry when we see what's happening to all of nature.
Yes, of course.
So I had a question that was posed by another, and I'll try and ask it correctly. So consciousness is changing and evolving, and the question was, will it simply be a shift and a quick change of an increased consciousness, or is this happening step by step?
It will be a step change, as all your evolution has been a step change from your world wars forwards and right back to your prehistoric times. It may seem to be rapidly developing at the moment, but it is always a step change, for there are many people to consider in that transitional period. And some will transition quickly, and some will transition slowly, and some will refuse until their existence is no longer here. And new souls will come in who are more open and ready. It is a slow process to you, but a rapid one to us, of course.
So what can we all do individually to help this consciousness to awaken, if you like, to help others through our awareness? What can we do individually?
You could set up a circle and ask some really interesting questions. Then they get published on the internet.
Do you feel that, well, you will know that all this is going to be shared to a wider audience?
We definitely hope so.
Yes. The message needs to go out there, doesn't it?
Yes, and there are many of us working in the same way. For each of you, have you noticed, the more you talk about your spiritual aspects, even to those you might not expect, you then have a welcome reception more often than not.
Yes, I do.
Some of them may even shock you, people who you're the last person in the world you might consider to be spiritual.
Yes.
Can be very open or require some proof and evidence. And when they receive it, it will change, you will plant a seed within them. But there are still many skeptics in your world, of course.
Yes, there are.
They believe when your body dies it is just black, and that is the end of it, which of course is nonsense.
Do you feel sometimes that we're going backwards, not forwards, in the way of our spirituality and our knowledge that life is eternal?
No, we are always going forwards.
Okay, well, that's reassuring.
There are more and more individuals becoming spiritually aware.
Yes.
And less people turning to religion for support.
Yes.
We are not saying religion is bad, and there are strong spiritual elements within religion, but religion is often controlled by man's thoughts and rules.
You heard your left hand has considerably changed in its appearance.
We are unaware of the left hand at the moment.
So someone who has a religious belief, when they pass over into the spiritual realm with such strong belief, are they able to connect with the aspects of their religion that they followed on earth?
Yes, for some this may be part of their journey to test themselves, to be placed in a rigid set of rules, to see if they may overcome the doctrines that are set upon them.
Wow.
Many religions believe they are the only true religion, of course.
Yes.
And many religions will tell you if you're not in their religion then you'll perish and not go to heaven, which again is nonsense. How would God punish a starving child in Ethiopia for not being exposed to a specific religion?
Yeah.
Where is the love in that? Again, these are false rules made by man. But for many, religion is a great source of strength and a great source of life in terms of having a moralistic code to live your life by. And that is no bad thing.
Yes.
Many religions were formed when your species was very animalistic, and it is part of your evolution until you evolve to the point where you understand the only true religion is love.
I wanted to ask about the Bible, and I wanted to ask you how factually correct the writings of the Bible are.
It has been translated so many times with so many sections left out.
Yeah.
Irenaeus was told to remove large sections of the Bible about life after death and spirituality. It has been translated so many times since then it is probably not worth the paper it is written on. But it had fantastic good intent when it was first orchestrated, of course.
Yes.
We choose like a life plan. Do we choose the duration of that life?
Within a degree, yes. But it is more about choosing to achieve your goals than how long it takes you to achieve them. But there are exceptions, of course. If you agree to play a role in someone else's plan to help them, for example, then you may choose a very shortened life to help another. As we explained before, why do young children get ill and die?
So the time of our passing, is this always predestined or is it flexible?
No, it is flexible. You will go when you are ready to go.
Yes. So we have quite a control on our lives. We create our own lives by our own thoughts. Is that right?
Yes, very much so.
I wanted to ask about, there's some very well-known teachers on the planet who have become enlightened. So is this just something that is extremely rare? That only a handful will become enlightened on the earth?
There are degrees of enlightenment, of course. When you say enlightened, you must define enlightened first.
So I listened to the work of Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
So that's my only reference to that really. And I know that he feels enlightened and at peace.
Yes, for his channeling.
Okay.
For his vibrational energy is high. So he is able to connect to the greater consciousness and channel information from source. To spread and share the knowledge to help enlighten others and increase their vibrational energy by changing their thought process and awareness.
Yes, wow. So there are others who are more of an enlightened state, as in like a spiritual being within an earthly body.
When you say enlightened state, it is in vibrational energy.
Yes.
You see, for the vibrational energy gains the enlightenment for your connection is better. Your Dr. Wayne Dyer, who is now back with us,
Yes.
for example, recounts in some of his books how he could empty his mind and just sit there and type and channel the information directly onto the page.
Yes.
In a similar way, the conversations with God's books when lived on a watch were channeled by a very angry man who reached a stage where he was able to empty his mind due to the anger involved, and he started to automatically write the answers down he was receiving. But it took a traumatic events in his life for him to give up and let go of the struggle,
Yes.
to free himself enough to then channel. But when you fight against your path, it goes wrong for you. This is back to allowing. It is all interlinked with manifestation, you see.
It's fascinating for sure.
But when you let go, you allow yourself to resonate at your true frequency, and then the universe will start to align for you.
So when you let go, you mean let go of your fear, let go of your anxiety,
Yes.
let go of attachment.
Know who you are.
It's quite hard.
It is incredibly hard. We know how hard it is for you, for we feel all your emotions and thoughts.
Mm.
But it is trust.
Yes.
Trust that you will come home to a
Yes.
better place.
Yet death is so feared, isn't it? It's just run through our
Yes.
teachings,
It is your biggest enemy.
for sure.
For your fear of the unknown.
Yes. Well, we're a lot quieter tonight, I think.
You forgot to ask me about the joy.
The joy.
Yes.
How can we
playing
find
of
joy?
games and having fun.
Gosh, yes, you're absolutely right. So the other question that was posed was somebody wanted to know, as much as we have fun and joy and laughter on the earth, are we able to experience that in the same way in the spiritual realm?
Even more so. For we share your joy and laughter in your events, your comical situations. But we also have our own, of course. And we have a great deal of fun and enjoyment, and we gain great satisfaction from helping others, but we also have a lot of fun too. We do not laugh out loud as you do, of course, but we experience the joy of laughter.
I always say it's a gift from God, laughter. It always changes everything, doesn't it? It takes the fear away.
Yes, they say laughter is the best medicine, do they not?
Yes,
When you're laughing, you're no longer living in fear.
yes.
Living your life without fear is the most empowering thing you can do.
Well, we're working on it, I guess.
We are all a work in progress.
Yeah. We're speaking to our same communicator as last week.
Where we are a group, you know,
Yes.
so we are influenced. If you imagine a blend of us together,
Yes.
and we are sharing minds and knowledge. When we
Yes.
learn to control a medium, it is not an easy thing to do, which is why some of your communicators cannot speak when they manage to come through and show themselves.
Yes.
But consider what we have to do to speak through one of you. We have to connect with you energetically, and then we have to meld our minds together, recalling how we operate yourselves when we were here. We have to be a vibrational match, and then we have to be able to transfer our thoughts into your mind and feel you impressed enough to repeat them. You try it on each other and see how you get on.
Could be here a while.
Huge effort then, to create this and to allow this to happen.
So that is why our voices will change occasionally, because there are many of us contributing to that effort.
So what is the purpose of groups like this? How can we fully utilize the information that you are sharing?
We will utilize it for you. You do not need to concern yourselves.
Yes. So we just need to sit here.
But what you are probably not aware of is you are also influenced to ask questions.
I feel that, I know that, I do know that.
When you say, I don't know where that question popped
Yes.
into my mind from,
Yes.
we do.
Yeah, I've just had one pop in now.
Is that cheating where we're asking ourselves the questions?
Yeah.
You know the answers.
So scientifically, we are evolving with our wisdom and knowledge. So how far ahead are you in the spiritual realm to us in way of the knowledge we have scientifically?
In terms of your technology developments, I
Yes.
assume you refer, where we did mention how your inventions happen simultaneously on different parts of your planet.
Yes, you did.
So knowledge is released to you as and when it is required for the good of mankind.
Ultimately, you're far greater in your wisdom than we are here.
Yes, of course, we are. We're miles ahead of you. But
Do
we
you-
are also learning ourselves, for we incarnate in different dimensions and gain knowledge from very different worlds to yours.
Do you try and influence the medical profession to be able to come up with better answers for ailments?
Yes, we do. We influence individual pioneers within your fields in a similar way that they channel information.
Oh, right.
Is deja vu like the closest thing we get to remembering our past lives?
I think someone's asked me that question before. That was a joke.
Sorry, I was straight away.
So we do have some humour on our side afterwards. Would you repeat the question, please?
Is deja vu a thing that we, what's my question? Remember from our past lives? The closest thing we're going to remember from a previous life?
It can be, yes. There are several different circumstances to your deja vu. For example, it may have been an incarnation you have experienced. We mentioned to you that you have different versions of yourself living in different dimensions and time zones. So it may be an alternative version of you who has experienced it. We were connected energetically, of course. You were part of the higher self, the whole. So it is like a ripple effect, where that energy is recognized in yourself, which gives you that strange feeling of deja vu. But you may also travel in your sleep, and you may also have premonitions in your sleep before you can time travel through your sleep and also in the conscious state through practice of your outer-body experiences. So you may gain knowledge by time traveling, which brings Claire to another question.
I'm not sure of it yet, hold on.
Should I remind you?
Yes, please.
You wish to know if you can travel through time in your physical dimension.
Yeah, my son asked me to ask that question to you. That's quite right.
The answer is yes, you may. But in your mental state, not in your physical state yet. And I say yet.
So you mean you're able to access past lives, past existences of your own?
As all of your consciousnesses involves, you will be able to travel wherever you wish.
And that would be through meditative state?
Yes.
Okay. It mustn't be easy to achieve though, I'm sure. But I know I see that it's possible.
I think your son's question was more pertaining to could he time travel and then have some cause and effect in the world he is in.
Yes.
Could he go back and change his exam results, for example?
Yes.
And the answer to that is not in the same existence, in the same dimension.
Yes.
But you may travel mentally to witness, but you cannot alter the course of time.
Yes, I see. I understand. Thank you. I'm getting to listen to this.
It is merely a set of rules, because the ripple effects of altering time can be far and wide. There have been many of your movies, I think you call them films, where a small fact may be altered has a colossal effect on the future.
Yes.
There are already alternative dimensions and realities within your realities, but you cannot go back and change one that has already happened. Well, the knock-on effect will affect many, many people, but you may go back and remote view.
Oh, I see.
And there are many amongst you who may already do that.
Yes.
Most of you have never tried, of course.
So you
But your
mean-
government agencies put great emphasis on it during your Cold War.
Yes, I know that, yes.
Where they would develop and train people to sneak into the enemy's camp
Yes,
and remote view documents on desks, etc.
yes. But is this remote viewing supposed to be used for this sort of thing?
It is an ability open to you.
Yeah. I think it's dangerous potentially, sometimes, if it's used for the wrong reasons.
Like so many things, you have a responsibility
Yes,
in the same way that you have a responsibility in your mediumship.
yes, absolutely. Yes.
But with the evolution of collective consciousness, you will understand your responsibilities as a part of the whole. Again, once your species understands that you are collectively one thing, you will not seek to damage another, so you will not abuse your ability,
Yes.
for it would make no sense to you whatsoever, for it would damage yourself. Well, that was a bit deep and heavy, wasn't it?
It's good for us to listen back to the recording to try and take in what you're explaining to us.
Yeah, sometimes if you listen to it 2 or 3 times, you may gain a different understanding.
Yes. How many, ideally, would you like to be part of this group?
How many sitters would we like? Is that
Yes.
what you're asking?
Yes.
We would like the whole world,
That many.
but not in this room.
I couldn't fit them in.
No, you'd be a long time making the tea, wouldn't it?
This would be very true.
They will be brought to you at the appropriate times.
Yes, okay.
You do not need to worry.
Okay, thank you.
But we do have longer term plans to use your technology to broadcast.
Yes, I understand. You're smiling.
Yeah, I think Steve will need to put his makeup on for that one.
I feel there may be a change in communicator.
Yeah, we are taking the instrument deeper now, so we will be quiet for a few minutes.
Okay, thank you. Oh wow. As it just seems like the gentleman coming forward has a little bit darker tash. And as I narrow my eyes, I can see definitely a very different face coming forward.
A longer face, very dark
Yeah.
hair, much thinner hair, elongated.
I can see someone who wears round glasses.
And the hairline is going back.
Yes. We can see you. And keep coming forward.
Much darker hair.
Mm.
Bushy eyebrows.
His mouth dropped.
Oh yes.
You can see it.
There's a lot of energy.
I know.
Hands are fluttering.
Yes, the breathing's important, you know.
Hello. So reading's important. Breathing. Sorry.
When you speed up the instrument's vibration,
Yes. Beautiful voice you have.
so that we may come forward and blend more easily.
Yes.
We are stretching him a little at the moment, but we need to get him back so that we may go forwards from where we were before.
Yes.
I can tell you he is experiencing the vibration within his forearms.
Yes.
As we blend more deeply and our energies start to blend deeper with his, so that we may take more control of literally the physical molecules and atoms within his body. And you still see me if you turn your light just a little lower for
Yes, of
me,
course.
please.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
And the hands are moving. See that?
It's totally different. His medium's face is totally different. Very welcome.
Almost feels colder in here. I don't know if it's because we've just been sitting.
No,
Do you feel it's clammy?
Do you feel it's colder?
No, I feel clammy.
Do you? It's almost like a damp feeling. is it?
yes, that's the
That's probably what I'm going with.
Yeah, that's an incredible difference.
It's the sense as well. It's just the sense of everything, isn't it? It's beautiful.
We are building. We wish to strengthen what you might see.
Yes. Oh, a little bit sick. You're doing very well. The medium looks like lots younger.
Massively younger, yeah.
Yeah.
Even like his cheeks and everything change all the time, don't they? So like fatter cheeks, thinner cheeks.
Yes.
It's almost like it's coming from behind, coming forward.
Forward,
Yeah.
Yeah, morphing through,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good work.
I'm so blessed.
Right hand is starting to tremble. You see that?
Yeah.
A trembling sensation. I wonder if this was someone who suffered that. Like Parkinson's.
Can you hear a second lot of breathing?
Yes, you can't sort of verbalise it, can you really?
It's almost like if there was a dog asleep next to him,
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
hear the dog
yeah.
sleeping and then that person breathing.
Yeah.
Hear it?
Can you see the eyes?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. You see the spirit eyes?
Yeah.
Wow. Wowee.
That's a bit strange.
Gosh.
Chilling.
It's okay, it's safe. That is absolutely incredible. Can everyone see this?
No, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Eyes.
His eyes.
The face has absolutely changed.
They've got almost a long, almost like a brother knot.
I see it on the screen.
Really long.
Now that's impressive. See that, Steve?
Yeah, nice.
Face, everything has changed. The
Totally.
hair colour.
Oh, it's got black curls.
Yes. Yes.
Become quite aged.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's incredible, thank you. Those eyes, wow. Gosh, lift in the head. There you go. Left hand started to move. You see the eyes are manifesting.
Yes, they are.
It almost feels as if they're focusing the energy on the physical phenomena we can see on the horizon. Maybe detracts them from vocal communication.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, correct.
Thank you. We can certainly see you, sir. You're doing very well.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Did you know it was me coming through?
I said it might be you.
Yes, yes, yes. We taking him deeper. Get his big head out of the way. Push him back. Yes, we have big plans, big plans. And yes, we can't talk. And use the energy the same way.
Yes.
At the same time, we will be able to.
Yes.
And we want your relatives to be able to be recognised.
Wow.
Then you know, don't you?
Yes.
So strong faces and people you know.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and then talking as well.
Sure.
That's what we want.
Yes.
It is your time. Your time is up.
Okay. Thank you, Herbert.
Thank you.
Not ours, but you have to go to bed. So we say God bless and good night.
God bless you. Good night.
And please turn the light off.
Yes.
Thank you. We all okay.
Can I say with you, when you talked about Parkinson's and the dog, my dad had Parkinson's, and I was thinking that when I was thinking, well, can I see my dad in those faces? And then went, yeah, thank you. And of course the dog.
Herbert's just confirmed.
Thank you.
Oh, how lovely.
Bless you.
Wow, I need to try again. It's building it up.
That's lovely.